Howdy folks, it's Generalkidd here. How are y'all doing today? So, yesterday, Sketch from 343 did an AMA at Ask Me Anything on Reddit, where he answered lots of people's questions about Halo MCC on PC, and some stuff about Halo Reach as well. So, let's talk about what he answered and what details he announced, because a lot of questions definitely were answered for sure. So I want to discuss the PC features first, because that's where a lot of the cool stuff is that I'm sure a lot of people are definitely wondering about. A lot of people did ask about system requirements for their PC to run the game. Well, if you signed up to be a Halo Insider, there are no system requirements yet. Based on the results and data they get during testing from everyone's hardware, they'll determine what the final requirements are going to be after that's all done. So basically, the more insiders they get, the better they'll be able to determine what's needed to run MCC optimally on PC. That being said, Sketch did announce one system requirement, and that is which Windows version you need. Windows 10 and Windows 7 are confirmed to be supported. For obvious reasons though, only the Steam version will work on Windows 7, and the Windows Store version on Windows 10. There is no Windows 8 support at the moment, but it's something he said they're looking into. The reason why Windows 8 isn't supported, I suspect, is because of the lack of DirectX 12 support. DX12 was originally a Windows 10 exclusive API, but a couple weeks ago it was actually backported to Windows 7, but not Windows 8. So that's why Windows 7 is on the official support list, but not Windows 8. That also tells you a bit of what the minimum GPU requirements are going to be. You will need a graphics card that supports DirectX 12, which the minimum on the NVIDIA side of things is the GeForce GT 420 and above. On the Intel side, any 4th gen Intel Core processor and above, so any 4000 series Intel Core processors with their HD graphics. And on the AMD side, an AMD Radeon HD 7350 and above. Basically, any AMD Radeon card that uses graphics core next. I think that's what it stands for, GCN, basically. But yeah, keep in mind though, these minimum graphics cards are just the minimum to support DirectX 12. Just because a GPU supports DirectX 12 doesn't mean it will actually run MCC well, if at all. Now then, the next detail announced is actually really amazing and pretty huge. Sketch confirmed that MCC PC will support unlocked frame rates. That's really huge. You could potentially run games like Halo 3 at 200 frames per second or even higher, whereas all those games are actually locked to 60 FPS on the console versions. So that's actually pretty great, and definitely looking forward to that. However, Sketch did say that this may end up varying from title to title, so it's not guaranteed for all games yet. Right now, their top priority is solid keyboard and mouse controls. And on top of that, they want to make sure everything is balanced too for PC gamers, which may include weapon tunings or other stuff like that. An FOV slider, field of view slider, has also been confirmed again, but the range of which you'll be able to change the FOV will again vary from title to title. So nothing specific for that yet. As for centered crosshairs, another popular request from PC gamers, it's that it's currently being investigated by 343, and that's it. What is definitely confirmed though, with more detail actually, is ultra-wide monitor support, with additional support for multiple aspect ratios and windowed modes. The aspect ratios confirmed so far include 21:9, 16:9, 16:10, 3:2, and surprisingly 4:3. The 4:3 is actually very interesting because that basically lets you play all the Halo games in their true classic original modes. Like way back in the day when you played on CRT TVs, those old big box TVs that were always in 4:3 aspect ratios. Now you can pretty much experience that again. Almost like the original classic feel, if you really wanted to. Now, earlier, I mentioned that MCC PC is coming to Windows 10 via the Windows Store and Steam, and on Windows 7 via just Steam. So the good news there is that they will all support crossplay to the full extent between all PC versions, be it the Windows Store and Steam or Windows 10 and Windows 7. Unfortunately, There's currently no crossplay between Xbox and the PC versions, but it is something that 343 is actively investigating. Now, back to the PC version though. There will indeed be anti-cheat built into the games, but details on what that covers haven't been announced yet. 343 also said they're still actively exploring bringing Halo Custom Edition map support to MCC. Now, one of the big things that people have been asking for a while is about mod support on top of all that. So whether MCC will have official support for modding on Steam or something like that, well, the official response to that is 343 is actively working very closely with the modding community to provide official mod support sometime after launch. But their current priority is to make sure the game feels right and is solid at launch first. That is their official statement at the moment. As for server browsers or dedicated custom servers, 343 has been discussing it but can't commit to any details at the moment. Alright, so that's a lot of stuff on the PC side of things. Let's get to the more general overall stuff, because there's still a lot to cover. He definitely discussed a lot of things for sure. So while there's currently no support for PC, Xbox crossplay, there is cross-platform progression though. That means all your progress, your custom games, forge maps, achievements, and so on, they'll all carry over between Xbox and all the PC versions. And not surprisingly, your progress from the Xbox 360 versions will not carry over though. But like I said, that's not really a surprise at all. As for Play Anywhere, the feature where if you own a digital copy on the Xbox, you also get a digital copy on the Windows Store as well, and vice versa, that is not currently going to be happening for MCC. But they are investigating it to see what their options are for people who own a digital copy on the Xbox One. Now, for some great news on the Halo Reach side of things, armor customizations, one of the most popular features of Halo Reach, will be coming to MCC in the full extent for Halo Reach. That means every bit of armor customization you could do in Halo Reach back then, you will now also be able to do on MCC. And everything will be unlocked through some form of in-game progression, which they haven't announced any details yet for, but, you'll basically be unlocking armors just like you did on the original Halo Reach, and they will all be unlocked through that in-game progression. He said there's no in-game monetization stuff for that, meaning no microtransactions at all. So that's actually really great news, and it's been a while since we've had a game really where you can unlock that many pieces of armor without microtransactions and stuff like that. However, that's only for Halo Reach at the moment. The previous games like Halo 3 and 4, which also had their own armor customization options, they'll stay the same for now, but that might change down the road as well, but we'll see. Now, Halo Reach's Forge mode, however, will be released a little bit after the initial release of the campaign and multiplayer. It still requires more effort and time because they're also making some quality of life improvements to it. As for multiplayer, though, they haven't confirmed any specific playlists for Reach multiplayer yet either, but they're definitely looking at community feedback for what to implement. So if you have a specific playlist or game type you'd like to see for Reach and multiplayer and matchmaking, definitely feel free to share it with 343 via, Waypoint, Discord, Twitter, Reddit, or so on. Anyways, another top question was Firefight. Reach will indeed have Firefight, but people wanted to know about ODST Firefight. Well, unfortunately, that still isn't coming yet, but it is something they're evaluating for the future. So only time will tell. Because right now their focus is on the campaign side of things for ODST PC, when that comes around later. The last couple of things people asked were if the PC version would also support split screen like it does on Xbox, and how the in-game terminals for some of the games would work. So for split screen, all they said was that they're looking into it. As for the in-game terminals, the concern there is that some of the Halo games like Halo 1 and 2 Anniversary, they require the Halo channel app to display the in-game terminal videos. So they'll need another way to be able to display them without it needing Halo channel, since there's currently no Halo channel app on the PC. However, Sketch didn't confirm anything on that point, and just said more details to follow. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, the last category of things that Sketch discussed is related to release dates and pricing. There's currently no solid release date for the beginning of Halo Reach testing for Halo Insiders, They're currently working on internal testing of the controls and the UI and stuff like that before release, and the results of that testing will determine how quickly they can get the first build to reach out. They still want to get as many people on insider flighting as possible, though, so that they can test all the different kinds of hardware and different needs and different requirements for MCC PC, like I mentioned before. So if you haven't signed up yet, definitely do sign up. I mean, no harm in trying out, and you'll definitely be helping to make MCC much better. But as was previously also confirmed, Halo Reach will indeed still be the first game released for MCC PC. Because if you remember, it's going to be a staggered release. They'll be releasing each game individually, one at a time, starting with Halo Reach. And it will also be released without Forge initially, like I said earlier. But after that, after everything is done and good, and everything's running great, then the games will be released in chronological order, starting with Halo 1, then 2, then 3, then ODST, and finally 4. The good news is that they are working on Halo 1 in parallel at the moment with Halo Reach, so perhaps it won't take as long after Reach for Halo 1 to be available, but we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, there's no specific release date or timing yet. They didn't want to commit to any of the specific release tables, so we'll just have to wait and see. And also, no pricing has been announced yet, still, but you will need to purchase each game in the Master Chief Collection individually. And there is currently no option to purchase the entire collection all at once, though. So, like, no season pass option or anything like that. So you just have to buy them one at a time. And if you want to buy them all at once, you have to wait till the whole thing is released, so you can buy everything all at once. Alrighty, so that's pretty much everything that Sketch discussed during that Reddit AMA. There were definitely a lot of major things announced and confirmed, but also still a lot of questions that they couldn't fully answer yet or confirm yet. But at least we've been able to learn a lot more about the PC version's features. Definitely sounds like it's going to be a great PC release, and even Reach on the Xbox One will be really great too. But yeah, going forward, I'll be sure to keep you all informed on anything new announced for MCC PC or Halo Reach, so do stay tuned for those updates. In the meantime, though, if you did enjoy this video and found it to be informative, as always, make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts and comments about all this. Definitely curious to see what you guys think, or if you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer it if I can. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay up to date on the latest developments of all this. But other than that, I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.